You ever notice how some lies don't sound like lies when they come from the right lips? That was Natalie's gift. She didn't raise her voice, didn't fake tears, didn't over-explain. She'd just look me straight in the eye, speak soft and serious, and suddenly I was opening my wallet like it was a reflex. We'd been married 5 years, not perfect years, but comfortable. She had charm, I had stability. She brought the color, I paid for the canvas. And that seemed like a fair trade, until her mom got sick. Repeatedly. At first, it was little things. "Mom's not feeling well, I should check on her." "She's having tests done. I might stay a few days." "Doctors still don't know. It's really stressful." It wasn't suspicious, not at first. What kind of husband questions his wife for caring about her mother? Especially a mother who, according to Natalie, was teetering on the edge of some vague, ever-changing medical crisis. I didn't pry. I just nodded, handed her money for train tickets, gas, sometimes hotel rooms, in case she needed to stay near the hospital. She'd pack light, kiss me goodbye, and disappear for the weekend, sometimes longer. I told myself she was just being a good daughter. I even admired it. I mean, loyalty to family, right? Noble stuff. But there's a fine line between loyal and unreachable. And somewhere along the way, Natalie crossed it. She stopped answering texts right away. Calls went to voicemail more often. And every time she came back, she looked different. Just a little more distance, a little more tan, ironically, and a little too relaxed for someone supposedly dealing with hospital hallways and heartache. Still, I said nothing. Because love is patient, love is kind, and love apparently is also a little slow on the uptake. The 6th trip came on a Thursday. Natalie looked worn out, like she'd aged 10 years overnight. Hair in a rushed bun, sweater half-zipped, and that same line she always used, like it had been rehearsed into muscle memory. "It's Mom. Something with her kidneys now. I don't know all the details yet, but it's bad." She didn't pack much. Said she might have to sleep at the hospital again. I offered to come with her. She smiled like I'd just suggested we both go to prison for fun. "No, babe. You've got work. It's fine. I'll handle it." She always said that, "I'll handle it," like she was some overworked nurse with a martyr complex. I gave her cash for the train and a little extra for food. She hugged me tight and whispered, "Thank you for trusting me." That line hit differently this time. Not warmer, colder. The minute the door closed behind her, I stood there in the kitchen, hands still in my pockets, staring at nothing. You ever get that sinking feeling in your gut? That slow, creeping suspicion that maybe, just maybe, you're being played like a damn ukulele? I didn't plan to call her Mom. I swear I didn't. But after 2 days of radio silence, no texts, no "I made it safe," no updates, something in me snapped. So I dialed the number. 3rd ring she picked up, bright as ever. "Oh, hey, sweetie, what a surprise. How are you and Natalie?" I blinked. "She's not with you?" Long pause. "With me? No. Why, is she supposed to be?" I could feel the bottom dropping out. "She said you were sick. Kidney problems." Another pause, then a chuckle. "Me? Oh, honey, no. I just got back from Zumba. Kidney problems. Where'd she get that one?" I sat down. Actually, I had to sit down, because my knees stopped cooperating with gravity. Zumba. My wife was supposed to be crying at her mother's bedside while I held down the fort at home like some dutiful idiot. Meanwhile, her mother was dancing to Latin pop in neon leggings, and Natalie, well, she definitely wasn't at Zumba. I didn't confront her right away. No screaming, no dramatic accusations. That's not how I work. You blow up too soon, you tip your hand. And something told me Natalie was the kind of woman who'd already rehearsed a dozen ways to flip the script on me. So I waited. She came back Sunday night, suitcase light, lips glossy and smelling like hotel soap and vanilla. "It was exhausting," she said, collapsing on the couch like Florence Nightingale. "I don't want to talk about it." No problem, I didn't want to talk either, I just wanted answers. Over the next week while she slept, I became an amateur detective with a grudge and a search history that could land me on a watch list. I started small. Hotel booking apps, credit card statements, gas station receipts in the glove compartment. All the breadcrumbs she thought I'd never notice. And there it was, a hotel reservation. 2 nights. Downtown. Made with a card she didn't know I had access to, because I paid the bill. I clicked into the reservation. 2 guests. 1 queen bed. Classy. I didn't recognize the name on the second guest. Some generic Jake with a last name that sounded fake, the kind of name people use at bars when they don't want to be Googled. But that wasn't the point. The point was it wasn't her mother. The final nail? A photo. Not of them. I wasn't that lucky. But of the room service menu she'd posted to her Instagram story. Not her main account, of course. Her Finsta. The one I found years ago when she accidentally linked it to our smart TV. There it was. Lobster linguine, champagne bottle, candlelight. Captioned, much needed escape. Escape from what, exactly? Her imaginary sick mother? By Thursday I had everything I needed. And now it wasn't a question of if I was going to confront her. It was how. I didn't throw the evidence in her face. No dramatic slideshow, no yelling in the kitchen, no threats of divorce with my voice cracking. I wanted her off balance, and that meant playing it cool. So Friday night, over dinner, pasta I cooked because irony, I asked, "How's your mom doing?" She blinked, fork midair. "Better, still weak, but hanging in there." I nodded. "That's good." I was thinking of calling her, just to say hi. She froze for half a second. A micro freeze, like someone who just realized the stage lights are on and they forgot their lines. "She's sleeping a lot. She probably wouldn't pick up." "Right, of course." I took a sip of wine. She avoided eye contact. Her phone buzzed. She glanced at it, flipped it face down. That little twitch in her jaw gave her away more than any confession ever could. I could have ended it right then. I had screenshots, printouts, timestamps, even the damn room service order. But I didn't want to fight. I wanted clarity. So the next morning, while she showered, I took her phone. I didn't need a passcode. She trusted me. Well, trusted me. Messages with Jake weren't romantic. No heart emojis, no pet names. Just logistics. "Same place? What time can you get away?" He bought the train tickets again. It was clinical, mechanical. Like cheating had become an errand. But there was one photo. A blurry shot of her feet in hotel slippers, his leg beside hers, glass of wine on the nightstand. Captioned, "I could get used to this." I stood there, phone in hand, listening to the shower run, realizing that I had married a woman who treated betrayal like brunch. And she thought I was still in the dark. Cute. That Sunday, she asked for money again. Not a lot this time, just a few hundred. Said her mom needed a specialist outside their network, and it was super urgent. I stared at her from across the living room while she paced, eyes darting to her phone every few seconds like she was waiting for a cue. I asked, calm as ever, "Cash or card?" She smiled. "Cash is better. I can give it straight to the nurse." Of course. So I gave her cash. More than she asked for, actually. Because if she was going to dig her grave, I wanted her to have the nicest shovel. Then I waited. I already had alerts set on my bank accounts. I already knew which hotel she'd picked before she did. She was nothing if not consistent. That same 3-star downtown suite with the dim lighting and complimentary wine that looked fancier than it tasted. By 8:45 p.m., the transaction came in. Room booked, same name, same routine. I called her around 9:15 just to watch the performance. She answered on the third ring, fake stress dripping from her voice. "Hey, babe, I can't talk long. Mom's not doing well." Right. Poor woman was probably exhausted from salsa class. I let her talk, let her spin the same worn-out tale. Then I told her goodnight, hung up, and poured myself a drink. Neat. That was the moment I decided I was done being quiet. But I wasn't going to yell, I wasn't going to beg, I wasn't even going to tell her she was caught. I was going to let her walk straight into her own trap. She came home like she always did after one of her trips, calm, collected, like she'd just come back from a silent retreat and not from 2 nights in a hotel suite someone else shared with her. "Hey, babe," she called out, slipping off her shoes like nothing in the world was broken. Sorry I didn't text much. Mom's been, you know. Yeah. Zumba must have been exhausting. I was sitting on the couch, lights low, TV off, just waiting. Not dramatic, just quiet. The kind of quiet that hums with tension, like the air right before a thunderstorm. She stepped into the room and immediately slowed down. She could feel it. The difference. I wasn't smiling. I wasn't getting up to greet her. I wasn't asking how Mom was. I just sat there, hands folded, eyes on her like a man waiting for the final piece to fall into place. Everything okay? She asked, cautious now. I nodded. That depends. On what? I looked at her a long moment. On whether you want to keep lying tonight? Or if you're finally ready to stop insulting both of our intelligence. She blinked. 1 beat, 2. Then she sat down across from me, dropped her bag to the floor, and said nothing. Her silence was almost impressive, like she was trying to decide which version of reality to commit to. You want to tell me where you really were this weekend? I asked. Still no answer. Because unless your mom got a room with a king-size bed, a bottle of champagne and late checkout, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say she wasn't the one keeping you company. Her eyes stayed on the floor, like maybe if she avoided my gaze long enough, the whole thing would blow over. I saw everything, Natalie. That got her. Her jaw twitched, just slightly. I didn't mean for it to go this far, she mumbled. I laughed once, cold and short. You booked a hotel, packed lingerie, ordered wine, and charged it to my card. How much further were you planning to go? She opened her mouth, then closed it. Maybe for the first time, she realized there was no good script for this scene. So we sat there, one of us knowing it was over, the other still hoping it wasn't. She tried to explain. Of course she did. They always try, even when there's nothing left to salvage but scraps and smoke. It didn't mean anything, she said. Ah, the golden phrase, the get-out-of-jail-free card of emotional betrayal. I almost clapped. You were seeing him for months. It was a mistake. A stupid, temporary, I cut in. 6 trips, Natalie. 6. That's not a mistake. That's a subscription. She winced, and for a moment I thought she might cry. I'd seen her cry before, over bad movies, burnt toast, once even over a scratched car door. But now, just blank eyes and the occasional twitch of regret that looked more like performance art than emotion. I didn't do it to hurt you, she said quietly. That one almost made me laugh again. You didn't think about me at all. That's the point. I stood up. She stayed seated, hands in her lap like a student waiting for a lecture to end. What was the plan, Natalie? Keep using me as your sponsor while you played house with Hotel Boy? Hope I never noticed the lies piling up like unpaid bills? She didn't answer. Was it about money? Thrill? Or were you just bored? Still no answer. So I gave her mine. Here's what's going to happen. Tomorrow morning, you're going to pack. You're going to leave, and you're not going to fight me on it. Because if you do, I'll make sure Jake's wife knows exactly where he's been spending his weekends. That got her. Her eyes snapped up, and for the first time, I saw real fear. You wouldn't try me. She swallowed. I didn't move. I wanted her to see it. The line she'd crossed and the man who wasn't crawling back over it. She nodded slowly, lips pressed together. Okay. Just like that. And it was over. The next morning, she was up early. Too early for someone who used to treat alarm clocks like personal insults. She was in the closet, folding clothes with this robotic efficiency, like if she packed neatly enough, maybe she could pretend she was going on vacation instead of being kicked out of her marriage. She didn't say much, just zipped, folded, sighed, until she did. We could fix this. I was standing in the doorway, coffee in hand, watching her stuff the last 5 years into a duffel bag like it was gym gear. Fix what exactly? I asked. Your sense of direction? Because you've been heading in the wrong one for a while now. She didn't laugh. Probably the wrong crowd for jokes. I made a mistake, she said. I got caught up in something stupid. I didn't mean to throw away what we have. You didn't throw it away, Natalie. I said. You sold it, rented it out by the hour, and now you're shocked there's nothing left to salvage. She sat down on the edge of the bed, bag beside her. We were good once, weren't we? That hit differently. It wasn't defensive. It was tired. Honest, maybe. Yeah, I admitted. We were. We stared at each other, the kind of long, painful silence that feels louder than screaming. For a second, one stupid second, I wondered if I could rewind the tape. Pretend this whole thing was just a fever dream in a bad year. But no, because even if you rewind a car crash, the dents are still there. The blood's still on the road. Do you love him? I asked. She shook her head instantly. No. God, no. But you chose him. She didn't argue that part. I stood up and pointed at the bag. It's time. She hesitated, then grabbed the handle and stood. Will you call me? Later? No, I said. I don't keep in touch with people who steal from me. She opened her mouth, maybe to protest, maybe to cry. I don't know. But she didn't. She just walked out, suitcase in hand. No dramatic goodbye, no slammed door, just silence and freedom. The first week was eerily quiet, like the apartment itself was adjusting to the absence. No more late-night FaceTime calls with Mom, no more fake hospital updates, no more perfume lingering in the hall when she walked by. Just silence and space and breath. I changed the locks, cleared her side of the closet, canceled her Netflix profile. Small things, but they helped. Symbolic little victories that felt like reclaiming my life, one detail at a time. Then came the paperwork. About a month after she moved out, I filed for divorce. No arguments, no dramatic objections. She signed everything without so much as a single request. Not for the apartment, not for the car, not even for the joint account. She just scribbled her name and slid the papers back like it was a receipt at a restaurant she regretted walking into. Maybe guilt made her generous, or maybe she just wanted to disappear before the consequences caught up. And just like that, it was done, legally, emotionally, completely. No contact since, no apology, no second thoughts. A mutual friend mentioned she's renting a small place across town, said things with Jake fizzled out quickly. Apparently, hotel chemistry doesn't hold up when it's time to split the Wi-Fi bill and do the dishes. I didn't gloat. Okay, maybe for 5 seconds. But the truth is, I don't hate her. Not anymore. I'm not angry. I'm not broken. I'm not waiting for closure. Because the moment I walked out of that lawyer's office, papers in hand and ring off my finger, I realized something. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is walk away without looking back. Let her carry what she did. Me? I'm finally free. If you enjoyed the story, please subscribe to the channel. I wish you a great mood and good luck.